8 million lightning strikes per day. Between 48 to 26 people a year in the last 10 years alone have been killed by lightning. And that makes it the second most lethal experience in outdoor recreational activities. The first thing people need to understand, if there's any possibility of lightning in your area, is to get away. It's not good enough to get underneath anything, whether it's a building or we all know that trees are not good, but even rocks and such are not a good place to be. Lightning will strike isolated, elevated areas, and if you're around that, you might get struck with it. There are actually three ways that people get struck. They can be hit directly, they can be hit as what's called a splash effect, but there's also something called a ground strike that can happen where lightning can hit away from you up to a mile, and that lightning charge can still affect you. Lying on the ground does not make you safer. The ground effect from lightning will travel through the ground, and the more surface area you have on the ground, the more likely you'll be affected. So it's very, very important that you go inside. But even inside, understand that a third of the electrical injuries that we get from lightning happen inside. So when you're inside, make sure you stay away from windows. Do not handle anything electrical, particularly computers. Telephones are another issue as well. You do not want to be in running showers. You do not want to be washing clothes, washing dishes. Stay away from water. Another misconception is that cars are safe from lightning. That's not true. Certainly the rubber on tires you would think is safe, but the cars still have a great deal of metal in them. So getting into a car is certainly better than staying outside, but if you're inside the car, make sure you don't touch or lean against anything metal. When you're outside, do not lie down. Concrete in particular is a myth that you're safe standing on concrete. You do not want to stand on concrete. The other myth has to do with that you have to be inside of an electrical storm to be affected by lightning. That's not true. Lightning will strike up to 15 miles away from where a thunderstorm is happening. Another reason why sports leagues recommend that you do not play outdoor sports within 30 minutes of having seen the last lightning strike or heard the last clap of thunder. There's a medical myth as well that I want everybody to understand. That is, if somebody gets struck by lightning, that you should not touch the patient. That's not true. Lightning goes through people very cleanly. These patients may look like they're dead, but they're not. It will be safe to do CPR. It will be safe to render aid to the patient. And certainly the first thing you want to do is call for help. And this is particularly important to do CPR because these patients can be resuscitated. They may also have a pulse but not breathe. Even more important to provide CPR and get them to the emergency department as soon as possible.